This is Brian Drummond here, the OG voice of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and you're watching Anime Secrets. It's over 9,000!
Toku Secrets is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Oh, yes! This is Goldar, and you're listening to Toku Secrets Podcast. Don't tune us out, tune us in!
Welcome to Toku Secrets. Join us as we journey into the marvelous world of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, and many other tokusatsu. Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. It's Morphin' time! Link to the Morphin' Course. I'm Nathan Desai, the dazzling adventurer, Spoken Silver.
I'm Patrick Allen, I'm Shinken Red.
And I'm Rizwan Merchant, Gokai Red.
And I'm Anthony Davis, also known as Curie Green. And we're Toku Secrets.
Alright, what is going on, Toku Faithful? We are coming at you today with an random assortment of tokusatsu news from across the Morphin Grid. Nate, you might want to copyright that new saying I just made up, because that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, totally.
But we're here today to talk about some recent controversy when it comes to the use of generative AI in our tokusatsu. And so we're going to be talking about, obviously, the Ninja Kidz fan production that's been getting a lot of heat lately. So for those that don't remember, about 2 months ago, give or take a couple of days here and there, a new project was announced out of Utah. And this is going to be a continuation of the Power Rangers Ninja Kidz TV show that they're producing on YouTube for just fun. And they had done 9 episodes prior across like 4 years or something. And I'll be honest with y'all, I actually have watched, if not the entirety of all 9 episodes, I've watched the majority of it. I think I'm just missing the last like 2 episodes at this point.
Yeah.
But my honest assessment of season 1 and 2 was, this is really good for a YouTube TV show made for kids. They had the kids doing their own martial art stunts. They had, it was a low budget, so they didn't have a ton of like special effects or this, that, and the other. But given what it was entertaining. It had heart. It had spirit. It was really just a fun thing, right? And then they announced that, hey, they have this collaboration of Ninja Kidz with allegedly Hasbro and with Playmates. I say allegedly Hasbro because the assumption was, given it was connected to Playmate, that Hasbro was involved in this as well. May not be true. However, recently a trailer has come out for the Ninja Kidz Power Rangers thing. And it was okay. However, there was a very obvious use of generative AI in that trailer. And so that got the community a lot of flack. That got a lot of flack from the community. Sorry. And it just led to a lot of discussion on the ethics of generative AI in media, which it's not something that's unique to Power Rangers. This is an issue that goes to the core of entertainment in general. So artists, filmmakers, videographers, everyone in the middle, anyone in the creative space, generative AI is a problem for. And so for those that don't really understand generative AI, I'm going to give you guys a quick walkthrough. This is by no means the complete technical explanation, because if you want that, we might have to step back and do a much larger podcast that's kind of talking about it. but I will do my best to kind of dumb it down from the high level computer science into something more understandable. So basically, generative AI is where you have a model that is taking in an input. So the input would be something like, hey, let's write a sentence and say, I want a Power Rangers TV show that has, I don't know, Star Wars Jedi Knights mixed in. And it'll make art kind of depicting a Power Ranger Jedi mass up. And you might think on the surface, okay, that's really, really cool. But how does it do that? And the way it does that is these generative AI models are gathering art and imagery from off the internet and pulling in elements here and there to make the art you want. And so this is raised a lot of ethical questions of, well, if this generative AI is gathering images from across the internet and it's pulling images from artists that are doing this on their own, like putting in sweat, blood, and tears into their work, then that's not good for them because their work is getting stolen. And there's a bit of a quality drop when you use generative AI. You can easily tell when it's being employed and when it's not. So overall, generative AI is not great on an ethical standpoint because it is stealing from the artist, and that's kind of the crux of the reason why this controversy has kind of come out today. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything here, but I'll pause and let you all talk because I've been talking for a good 7 minutes at this point.
No, I have nothing to say right now.
Okay. Now,
The way
I guess.
the way
Go ahead,
Right.
Nate.
all I
ahead.
was gonna say was that, like, listen, so before anybody says anything, I don't think that there's nothing wrong with AI per se. However, if you're gonna use it, yeah, I don't think you're making money off of it. That's the way I see it.
And
Like
that is
I
the
don't
crux to the issue.
yeah.
You shouldn't be making money off of generative AI. That's a deal breaker in my opinion. That you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. If you want to like use
Um,
it for your own personal like usage or whatever, like just to see how it works and all that. That's I mean, you can't really nobody can really tell you anything different, but I just feel like you shouldn't be using it, to make a profit because you're just basically just stealing from other people.
exactly. And we have a lot of fantastic people in our fandom that are doing some really great stuff, like in terms of art, video, etc. We got artists that are making some really good like Ranger concepts. We got fan film productions that are doing some amazing stuff. I'm gonna shout out Unworthy. I'm gonna shout out a Megaforce Story. I'm gonna shout out Xena Films. These are all people that I've watched and I really enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
they're doing stuff that you just don't get um, with the Hasbro run or just with the franchise in general. So the fan stuff, actually, in my opinion, is better than some of the official stuff. And if you want proof of that, go back and listen to our Rail Rider podcast series where we continuously say, "Yo, this looks like a Saban level effort they put into it." Um, so the use of generative AI is a bit of a slap in the face to those kind of productions, and the one big thing that really kind of hurt artists in our own community is, as you'll recall from our last podcast talking about Ninja Kidz and the Power Rangers collaboration, um, a really amazing artist in the community named TokuJay, he was involved in this collaboration to create season 3 of the Ninja Kidz Power Rangers TV show. And if you haven't seen TokuJay's work, please go check it out. It is phenomenal. So they commissioned his Mighty Morphin suits and they brought it to life. And the detail on those suits are amazing. And you can, again, go back to the video we did a month ago and see all the photos in there. But again, it's just really mind-boggling the amount of stuff they did with that. So the trailer came out. I'm going to try and play it real quick just to let you guys see what it looks like, and then we can go into some of the statements and some of the kind of info, kind of breaking down where we are with this problem right now. So I'm going to stare at a screen. Okay, so here is the Ninja Kidz trailer pulled off of one of the YouTube channels. Now, I do want to note, the official trailer on their channel has been removed, and I'll get into why we think that might have happened. But without further ado, let's watch this trailer real quick.
Playtime's over, children.
It's morphin' time.
The Power Rangers are back.
Yeah, that looks bad. Yeah.
You are unworthy of that seat.
The dragon has struck again, infiltrating a high-clearance science facility.
So that part doesn't look bad right there.
Crystal is my only purpose. Jason, you must ride.
We look awesome, don't we?
Don't forget to subscribe.
That text thing was AI too.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
The way it pops out, it just looks, you know.
Yeah, it just kind of like morphs out of nothing. It looks really bizarre.
More so than nothing.
Yeah, so that's the trailer. Concept-wise, I like the trailer and the concepts they're bringing forward. Like, I like the idea of a Grimlock take on Lord Zed. Grimlock being the VR Trooper's villain, who was a businessman who turns into a villain, whatever. I think that's a pretty cool idea. But the entire, like, animation style to manifest Zed from a human, that's the most obvious take of the AI.
It's pretty bad.
There's also all the morphing sequence stuff. The morphing sequence is definitely AI. Patrick called out, oh, look, the title's also been AI created.
I also saw someone on Twitter say something that the theme that they played during the trailer was also AI.
I have heard that, but I am not skilled enough in the technical field to say with certainty in my own capacity to agree or disagree with that.
I've
You
actually
can?
listened to. I have. I was gonna say it was that like because they've been posting some songs like that on YouTube. That's how I know.
Yeah.
And the voice sounds exactly like how they use their AI voices for the song.
It sounds very similar to some makeshift AI songs that I've heard. So
okay. Yeah. Again, I will refrain from commenting where I don't have the technical background on this topic. But if you guys feel that you can tell that it's AI, then more power to y'all. But I'm trying to limit myself to what I can knowledgeably talk about with my own background from engineering.
No, I understand.
Yeah. But with that said, let's bring up TokuJay's statement. And it's a two-part statement, so bear with me while I pull it all up. So this is the TokuJay super mega professional unofficial statement. Hekonyan if you're nasty. I don't know what that means. But TokuJay is known for having some snark in his commentary. He's very sarcastic and he makes jokes, and I think it's his way to like kind of cope with the situation. So I'm gonna read it out and we can kind of break it down as we read it out. So, oh hi everybody. I didn't expect to see you all here today. For those that follow me in my work, you likely already know that my suit designs were commissioned for the Power Rangers Ninja Kidz series being produced for YouTube, partly because many of you, to my sincere amazement and gratitude, recognized them on set, and partly because, well, I'm excited I've excitedly not said up about it since. Dude, the moment the leaks happened, everyone was like, "Is that TokuJay?" And within like a couple of hours, TokuJay definitely confirmed it. So yeah, this really happened.
Yep.
I was at the NostalgiaCon here in Houston when all this was getting dropped. So I was kind of keying in and out of it during con coverage. So, but yeah, I saw a lot of that happening in real time. Now, since this past weekend, there's been a lot of chatter online regarding the trailer that leaked over the weekend and its use of generative AI throughout. Yes, that's a true statement. A lot of big time YouTubers have been commenting on it. Deoxy360, I've seen Airlim, and a couple of others kind of commenting about their opinions on it. Legacy Ender is another one, but we'll get to that in a minute. And regarding the trailer leaked over the weekend and use of AI throughout, he's commented briefly on Twitter about it, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it these days about it, but let this be my final battle statement on the situation as it currently stands. I discovered the trailer and the contents therein when I woke up to a flurry of mentions, DMs, and social media ablaze over a by then private YouTube video. Now, pausing here for a second, if you go at the time of this recording to the Ninja Kidz YouTube channel, you will not find the trailer on there. I pulled that trailer off of YouTube from somebody else who copied it and re-uploaded it. And so there's some theories on what happened here. The first theory is they uploaded it, getting excited to say, hey, we're going to release this in October. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. Let's get hyped for it. And that'd be an obvious statement. However, the other possibility out there is they were trying to pull a Sonic. And Patrick, you're the Sonic de facto expert in the chat. So I think what they're saying here is the Sonic movie that came out. When the Sonic movie first came out, everyone gets some backlash.
Yeah, the crappy original design. Yeah, they had to go back and redo the whole movie with a new model. Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone hated it. They all get some backlash. And the creators went back to the drawing board and said, okay, say less. We hear you. It's a trailer. We can fix this. So it's possible this is a controlled leak and that Ninja Kidz wanted some preliminary feedback on the use of generative AI in the work. And so that's one way to look at it. The other is they pulled it down out of fear of the backlash, and they're just now trying to scramble to come up with plan B, which could also be to take out the AI and redo it. But that's kind of up to speculation at that point. But continuing on, I'd had prior concerns when concept art leaked previously that had some suspiciously AI-looking imagery, but seeing the amount of blatant generative AI used in a trailer in a project that I'm quite publicly tied to was deeply disappointing and concerning to me. Now, what he's referring to here in the concept art, they had previously released some imagery of the Megazord, and that also looked very AI-like. So there have been some concerns prior to the trailer of, are we looking at AI here? Are we not? But at that point, it was a little bit more difficult to tell, especially given the rendition of Megazord in the last couple of years has been kind of hit and miss, given once and always, all the Megazords in there, the CGI was terrible, but it was not AI. It was just bad CGI from Hasbro, as far as we know. But this one had the feel of AI, so it caused more of a stench than just bad CGI. I don't know if you guys saw the Megazord art concept out there.
I did. It looked a little off.
Yeah. So I had people wanting to know if I knew if I was involved in it or if I'd consented to it. I've had more abuse over this probably at any other point in my career, from one side outright accusing me of using AI myself to the other pro AI side telling me I should quit being an artist and in fact get a real job. Thanks, bro. Guess I'll go be an accountant now. There's that amazing TokuJay humor mixed into the official, not official statement. What I'll say here is I have been following TokuJay for the better part of at least 3 years in my recollection.
think
And I
I
know
think
he's been
3
doing
years
it a
for me
lot
as
longer
well.
than that. I know he's been doing it for longer than that, but that's when I kind of started seeing him more. And he has some really good stuff. And he has a Patreon. He's doing a lot of this through commission. He is not doing this with AI, y'all. He is doing this from blood, sweat, and tears and love for the fandom. That's why he does this every day. So for y'all to be telling him to quit and go and be an accountant or whatever, that is completely uncalled for, and in my personal opinion, garbage.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
So let me be very clear. I condemn the use of generative AI in all aspects of the entertainment industry and the arts because, in my very blunt opinion, it's just not art. It devalues the work of artists who have spent years honing the craft. It devalues many already oversaturated, over-competitive fields. And, well, there are just too many damn fingers. True statement, there's a lot of fingers. Look, I wanted to be a pro wrestler when I was a kid, but I'm 5'10" with the pain threshold of a rabbit and the natural athletic ability of a wardrobe. I'm not entitled to challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship because I want to, in the exact same way that people stringing together words in ChatGPT to generate graphic novels aren't entitled to call themselves comic book artists because they want to be. That seems like a jab at another supposed content creator that I'm aware of, but I'm not going to comment on that too much here. Anthony, I feel like you already know what I'm referring to there.
Kind of, but I may know, but I may be wrong. So
it's one of those if you know, you know type things. I don't want to get into because I don't want to get that kind of publicity here.
Right.
There's an argument
We'll
to
talk
be
about it
made about there's an argument to be made about non-generative AI as a tool to assist in various endeavors, sir. But I firmly draw a line when people use it to create. And I draw that line with a pencil, not a prompt. To say, I like that. And I will second that. In my opinion, ChatGPT is a good tool if you use it correctly and in the way it's intended to be used, in my opinion. Well, actually, I don't know how they intend to use it, but the way I think ChatGPT can be used in the world is, hey, I want to Google and find out stuff without having to go through a bunch of things. So, hey, ChatGPT, go pull all the relevant data and bring it up and let's analyze it. With sources, mind you. That's the important piece. You got to make sure you get sources that have links to the real info so you can go look at it later yourself. I don't use that a whole lot in my own work. I just don't like it. But I know plenty of people who use ChatGPT as an aid to gather information. And while I don't like ChatGPT in the AI world in general, I think that is a more arguably sane way to do it. I don't know.
All right.
Okay, so pulling up the second piece. For those of you who have commented, reached out, or just generally offered support, thank you. It's been a hell of a week, let me tell you. My work computer had finally appled its final Mac, and on the same day my fridge broke. The very next day, I was sat there, unable to work, drinking lukewarm Pepsi Max, while seeing posts and videos discussing Power Rangers using AI, most of which use my suit designs in the thumbnails. Bro, that's terrible. The fridge, the Mac, and Pepsi Max? Is that a thing?
It is.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't drink soda, so I don't know. But it sucks because he has lukewarm Pepsi Max. As bad as lukewarm Pepsi Max is, seeing those thumbnails all over YouTube really suck because whether intentional or not, the optics will always be there now, connecting my work to AI. It might not seem like much, but as a professional artist working month to month to make a living, that really stings. Dude, that is such a true statement. Artists are living month to month. They are suffering. They are struggling to do what they love. And, you know, having your work associated with something so negative as generative AI in a world where a lot of the fandom just does not like it and will not accept it, that makes it more difficult for him to keep his reputation. So that's a huge problem for him. That being said, I'm not privy to a lot of behind the scenes issues that have impacted this project. I'm not and never will be in the business of throwing people under the bus or pointing fingers of blame and shame. But I do believe in speaking up for people I feel are taking an unfair amount of that blame. Contrary to what the narrative appears to have been on social media, the team at Ninja Kidz itself have been nothing but open and forthcoming with me, and I don't want to hold them responsible for the decisions that have been made that have tarnished this project and my involvement in it. I thank them sincerely for the opportunity to bring my designs and Parallel Life Studios work to life. No, the Ranger suits weren't able to be completely finished, but given the budget and time constraints we had, they did an incredible job. I agree with that. The suits that we did see from the sets are amazing. They look
Yes.
the detail they put in is crazy
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, we went over that in a previous podcast, and I mean, yeah, there's you could say those suits look amazing.
They do, and I think those are some really amazing looking suits. I just cannot get enough of them. From planning to pre-production to the 2-week long suit, from what I could tell, there was a genuine desire to create something bigger than this was ever supposed to be. A lot of people put in a lot of tireless and very human hard work into this production with more care and passion than I think it will ever be given credit for, because of decisions made in post-production process that Ninja Kidz themselves are not directly a part of. Now, this is where I don't know enough about the production part to know how much of this is Ninja Kidz themselves that decided to go with the generative AI, or was it a Playmates thing? I know it's not Hasbro, and we'll get into why I know it's not Hasbro in a minute, but I don't know where that, if that statement is completely something I would agree with or not. But given what I've seen of the Ninja Kidz themselves in the past, I want to believe that they are not the kind of people that would do this unless they were forced to and had no other choice. Okay, we're almost at the finish line here. I'm aware a lot of this section of my super mega professional statement probably reads as source, trust me, bro. But I hope that all of you understand that I've always done my best to be as transparent with my followers as I can, because I genuinely value that following. I'm just a small town kid from England who has worked hard, tried to do everything the right way, and through that managed to be brought on board twice for official Power Rangers work. Now, I don't know what the first time was. I don't know if you guys know.
What?
Like, the first time he was brought into an official Power Rangers work. Yeah, when was TokuJay's previously on an official Power Rangers thing? Because I don't actually know.
I'm trying to remember.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Anyway, now for the second time, it looks like that work might not amount to anything because the decision's completely out of my hands. I'd love nothing more than to have my work officially recognized in a franchise that I truly care about, and I truly appreciate everyone who's gone to bat for me in doing so. But I have to accept that at this point, it just isn't in the cards. If you're a fan of mine or just appreciate some of my work that's led me to this point, I'm genuinely grateful, and I'm sorry it's not gone the way I hoped it had. I raise a lukewarm glass of Pepsi Max to you all. Signed, Jay. This is a difficult statement for me as a content creator because I feel the pain he's going through, because it's not easy being a content creator. And I know I have no room to talk because I'm not creating art. I'm creating podcasts, and there's a different skill set there that's involved, and it's not as difficult, I feel, as what he does. And for him to be in that position where he relies on the art for a living and his reputation for art, that's difficult. And also he's a fan. And for him to have his work just kind of thrown in like that, it definitely can sting and it can definitely hurt. Now, during the flurry of YouTube videos coming out denouncing the AI in the trailer, the father of Ninja Kidz did reach out and make a comment on the fan club's YouTube channel. The fan club being another YouTube channel. Really cool guy. I'm excited to meet him in Orlando next month. But Ninja Master had this to say about some of the commentary and stuff going on out there in the fandom right now. We appreciate your take. This project was made with love and passion. It's a feature-length project with 20% the budget of a single Power Rangers episode. Now, I don't know which budget we're talking. Are we talking like a more modern, like a Cosmic Fury budget, or are we talking like a Mighty Morphin budget? But in either case, that's not a lot of money for what they're doing here. And so if you're trying to make something that's like industry standard acceptable, I could see this being a problem. And we'll get into that more in a minute. But several visual effects artists worked on this, and some of them used AI to supplement their work. Hasbro gave us nothing. And that's why I was saying earlier that I don't think Hasbro is involved in this beyond commissioning Playmates to do the toys. And I think Playmates is the one that decided, hey, let's use this Ninja Kid thing to promote our toys. We spent more than what we were paid by Playmates because we care about making something great. Remember that even with a little extra budget, it's still a low budget YouTube fan film. I'm going to pause here and let y'all comment on anything you want to add before I go on to my next piece.
I've got nothing this time either.
Yeah, same here.
That's my piece already.
I will say, and I will pull up a screenshot to help with my illustration in a second, but we have seen time and time again with our different fan productions that you don't need a big budget to make something truly remarkable without using AI. Case in point is the recent Pink Blossom movie, part of the Super Mega Force story. Their Indiegogo list, the funding you guys give is to us is to help us fully bring this ambitious project to life. All funding goes straight to costumes, props, soundtrack composition, filming, permits, even transport. The math has been completed, and $1,100 is our calculated budget needed. Dude, $1,100? That's nothing. That's like very little. And I know our podcast on the second movie is not out yet, but the Lida Moran review is out, and I think we've done a pretty good job illustrating that we all love this work that they're doing. And, they did really good with $1,100 and a lot of time. So you can definitely do a lot with very little if you have time and skilled people. Now, I will say my suspicion on something that might have driven some of the AI might have been the time crunch that they were under. I don't know what the time crunch is. No one's really said it yet. But if time was a factor in getting this done, and that was why we had this problem, then perhaps that's why they chose to use generative AI to get it done quicker, which does not excuse it still, but I would understand that being the reason. Okay, so the last bit of stuff here, and I don't have stuff pulled up for it, so we'll just talk through it a little bit. Legacy and Nerd posted something to the effect of the Ninja Kidz production has been canceled. It's not going to see the light of day. And he's since redone the announcement to say that he's talked to the people at Ninja Kidz, and there are some issues. Actually, if you want to pause, I'm going to pull it up and we can get that on here, the screen as well. Hang on. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the Legacy and Nerd announcement talking about the fact that there is some issues with the with the back and forth of getting this out there. Right. Breaking. The Legacy and Nerd confirms that Ninja Kidz that the upcoming Power Rangers web series is in limbo. Ninja Kidz founder Shane Myler spoke with the Legacy and Nerd and confirmed that the upcoming web series is currently in limbo due to business disagreements outside of the control of Ninja Kidz. He also clarified that the trailer that was leaked was an early concept draft that was not meant for public view. He is currently working to save the series so that fans can see the hard work that many people put into the production. And I'm gonna shift the screen down a little bit so we can see the rest of Legacy's image. Ninja Kidz confirmed Power Rangers series in limbo due to business disagreements. Also confirmed leaked trailer was the early concept draft. Yeah, so Legacy did reach out, talk to the guys behind Ninja Kidz, and got this info. So I don't know if I truly buy into was an early concept draft that was not meant to be publicly consumed.
Yeah,
I think this.
I don't buy that either.
I honestly think this is something that was meant for public view to help them get a feel for how they were doing so far.
So this is something that I have learned uh, since I started working in the communications department in college, is that there is a tactic where you intentionally leak something to gauge interests and opinions from the public without actually releasing it. Maybe that was what happened here.
I think it
I don't
was.
know.
It would make sense to me.
Yeah.
So, at the moment, we are kind of facing some issues with this new series coming out. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, these actors, TokuJay, the other artists that were used to create this stuff on set, do not deserve to hate here.
No.
I think even Ninja Kidz themselves made a bad decision, but I also don't fully fault them for what they did here. I honestly think there's some funniness with playmates and possibly forcing them to do things quicker, and they got desperate and went to the generative AI route. Not the best idea in the world, but I understand why that could possibly have happened. It's tragic because I do like what they've been doing, and they did a really great job on it. Like, thus far, it's been pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Plus, it's really cool having Ethan. I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, Ethan Feinstreiber. He actually did listen to our podcast about a month ago, and he was really enjoying our coverage of this. And they're kids. They're like, I don't know, somewhere between 16 and 20 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're pretty young. They don't have any involvement in this, and I feel like the fandom might be hating on them.
Which you shouldn't.
Which you shouldn't. They don't deserve that hate. If you want
No.
to hate somebody, hate the corporate overlords that probably forced them on this route. And also, mind you, remember, Hasbro has already set a precedent already saying, yo, we're okay with generative AI because they used it to upscale Mighty Morphin to create Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reignite or whatever, which is just an upscaled version of it using AI. And I know we didn't cover it on the channel, but I did do some digging into the differences that they were able to get from it. And I don't see a whole lot of difference that was value added here for it.
Yeah, I tried. I watched a few episodes just to see, and it, unless like the colors look a little bit brighter, but that's it really.
Yeah, and I mean, that wasn't really a big value add in my opinion.
No, like I don't understand what the point of this was. You wasted money doing this. It's barely noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of push right now to go to generative AI to cut some corners. But one thing I think needs to be said, tokusatsu as a whole is meant to be a genre for practical effects and having, live action actors, having people in the suits, and all the stuff that goes into it. I know CGI's kind of leaked into in more recent years, and you've had like animated pieces here and there, but that's all part of the process of evolution in the entertainment business. That's just part of it. Generative AI is the new thing coming into it. And I don't know about you guys, but back when CGI was just coming into the mix in the entertainment industry, people didn't like it. But it was acceptable because it was still people on a computer building CGI art and doing it by hand. And there's a skill set you need to have there. Generative AI, dude, I'm just going to type in a prompt and slam, bam, wham. Look at that. I made some TV show. That's not art. That's just typing in a thing. And so, you can make a graphic novel by asking ChatGPT, yo, make a script for me. That's not freaking anything of value. That's just you saying, hey, I have this basic concept, and I want you to make it for me because I'm too lazy or inexperienced to do it myself, or whatever the case might have been. I don't actually know, but you know, we need to stand together about AI being used in the entertainment business because at some point we're going to eliminate the human in the loop. Um, you've already seen it a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw the news, but Hollywood was trying to sign on an AI actress for whatever the hell that means to be part of some upcoming
Yeah, I've
movie.
heard about that.
I heard about that too.
That's frightening to me, y'all. I mean, are we really going to let all of our entertainment be computer generated completely, even down to the human aspect of it? That's not okay.
Yeah, no, it's not.
All I gotta
Uh,
say is this is how the Terminator happened.
Mhm.
You want to make the
Look,
Terminator real?
I mean, okay, so if we're using AI, which I'm going to take a second here to say, it's not even truly AI, it's just a large language model. And it's just
Mhm.
gathering up all the info and then building something based off the information in its library. That's all it's doing. It's not
Yeah,
purely, it's not really
yeah,
sentient. It's just,
yeah. It's Frankensteining a bunch of assets from its internet database into something different,
yeah,
and it looks bad most of the time.
it does. And
Like, I don't know if you've seen these, I don't remember which one it is, but there was an anime AI program that introduced, like, an anime maker, and people have been making, like, OG Dragon Ball fight scenes in it, and, like, people's legs will just move around, people will, like, morph into, like, completely different characters and stuff it just looks terrible
Mm.
because it doesn't have, like, a sense of logic.
Mhm.
That's the problem with it.
yeah,
Yeah, and I remember once. Now, granted, this isn't like with visual stuffs, but even with like just some general like search AI. Like I remember this one time, and I think I told you guys about this just a little bit, but I was like I've been trying to do like this little rewrite of Operation Overdrive, and for the most part, I have everything thought out by myself, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out a roll call that I wanted to use because I really don't like the one that they have in the actual show. I think it just sounds way too standard and everything. And I I decided just for the heck of it that I would use like an AI engine like ChatGPT to help me like come up with a roll call. So you put in something where it's like, could you give me a roll call for Operation Overdrive that's a little similar to like how the Bokenger roll call was? Because in the Bokenger roll call, it's very unique where like they give themselves like unique characteristics on how they are as adventurers. And everything that the AI was giving me, I just found to be horrible. Like they were bringing in like elements like adventurer of fire, adventurer of ice, etc. And not only that, but the AI machine also got it completely wrong because it was identifying Will as the Blue Ranger and Dax as the Black Ranger. So yeah, so even on that mark, like I've personally had some experiences where AI has just not worked out at all.
no, and it can't because it's still too immature to even be like completely useful unless you spend a lot of time typing and stuff to teach it. Like, I'm sure if you went back and told it, yo, Will is the Black Ranger, not the Blue Ranger, you'd be like, oh, my mistake. Sorry, let me try again.
No, but even just like I mean, the problem with like it identifying Will as black and Dax, no, Will is blue and Dax is black is that like that's the least of the things worries. Like it, like I'm asking for something that could be unique, kind of like how they did in like give me something based on adventure, but don't try to bring elements into it because I mean there's no classical element properties in Bowkinder or Operation Overdrive, but it just kept giving me stuff like that, like stuff that just sounded completely like just it didn't make any sense. And I was trying to
Yeah.
get a roll call that had a lot of personality to it, like with the Mystic Force roll call, it's them, saying it's them like giving these cool characteristics based on their element powers. Like Xander controls earth, so he's strong as a tree, etc. Or like how in Jungle Fury, they say they have like this attribute of their animal spirit, like strength of a tiger, speed of a cheetah, etc. I was trying to look for something like that, and I just thought AI could help me, but it didn't. So yeah,
I mean,
evidently, like,
it can't. It's not meant. It's not at a point to be able to do that. And honestly, that's part of why you need a human in the loop to still be in the entertainment industry. You can't. It's a
yeah.
tool. It doesn't know anything better than that.
Yeah,
So
I remember once I was watching, and this was like way back in like almost like 9 years ago. I was watching a video while listening to one talking about like how AI could, you know, take away from like the pride in being a human, how like we could have something that could like generate a very complex piece of art in less than a second, and it could be like the most perfect piece of art you could think of,
Mhm.
compared to like a human who would spend like possibly years, trying to make the same piece of art, and it would never be nearly as perfect. And is it possible that we get to that point at some point in the future? Of course, but based on how AI is right now, we are absolutely nowhere near that point.
no, not really. Not even close.
Yeah, and I know the video, the thing, it's not really so much related to Power Rangers so much. It was just some guy like going on like a deep talk about like some of the, just kind of talking to me, I mean, kind of similar to what Patrick was saying earlier with how like AI could be taking over everything. This is how we get the Terminator or something like that. But I mean, it's true. I mean, right now, a lot of these AI stuff, you can tell that it's AI because it just doesn't look great at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I definitely agree. Like the use of AI is a little bit dangerous because you might get wrong information and you could run with that, and that's also bad.
Mhm.
Um, I just think so. One thing a friend of mine posted earlier, he made a good point. I think this was meant to be a kids thing on YouTube to draw in people to buy the toys. It wasn't meant to be like an official season or like a reboot or anything. The reboot is coming apparently. It's going to be starting filming in this January out in the UK, and it'll be on Disney. So we have an official reboot in the works, apparent to like a couple of like the bigger websites. But
Yeah.
this is a fan production meant for kids to help Playmates sell toys. And while we don't like generative AI, in this case, I can look the other way a little bit and say, okay, you know what? I could see this being okay for that instance, but it's a very slippery slope still, nonetheless. So I personally would not want generative AI in there, but I can understand the intent if it's like, oh, it's for a kids thing. It's not meant to be serious, whatever. I get that. But I also think it's a disrespect to people like TokuJay, Parallel Life, and those actors, those kid actors. I mean, it's gonna follow them around for a while. This comes out to be the real thing in the end. Um, so it's just an unfortunate series of events for everyone involved.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that was my little deep dive into Ninja Kids, the AI use, everything else. Do y'all have anything else you guys want to add on?
I don't really have much. I think I think I've said my piece just in general with AI, seeing as I had a personal experience with it that just where it didn't really turn out good. So I think that's all I can say.
Mhm.
All I gotta say is that, well, I'm pretty much, well, I mean, not only me, but you, pretty much everybody here in this group as well. We've also benefited from having actual artists do our stuff for us, because you may not see it right now, but when we do our podcast and we have like little avatars that are on our covering our faces or whatever when we're not have our video cameras on, I have my avatar of me as Shoyu Green, and that was done by an artist who I found, I think, on Instagram. I think his Instagram had got hacked or something like that, like a while back. He wasn't able to really post anything since then, but I, bought a commission from him, and I said, "Hey, I wanted this picture of me as Shoyu Green," and bought it. But a couple weeks to him to work on it, and lo and behold, there's my face right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's really awesome. And, we've done the same thing for our own podcast cover. We have our own branding now, and it's really awesome that we have it.
Yeah. That's what I was referring to when I said not just me, but you guys as well, because we also have a second picture of all of us together.
Yeah, right here. And this is done by a really amazing artist, Kagura. He did an amazing job on his art. It looks amazing to me still. Like, I love the fact that it's out there and that we have t-shirts with this out there as well. I think that's really awesome to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we got to support the local artist. Beauty Baba Yaga recently posted a TikTok and a reel on Insta with a bunch of really good artists out there. If you ever want to commission, go look up her, like, in social media, find that list. There's some really good talent on there. And I'm going to try and like find it and post it in the comments here later on, but definitely support our artists out there and give them commissions if you want something to come to life. I think it's important to do that.
Definitely.
So,
I mean, we try to support everybody we possibly can, and over here, not just with the artists like we're doing right here, but also just shining a light on really great fan productions that have a lot of heart and passion put into them.
Yeah. But yeah, with that said, continue supporting your fan projects. Power Rangers audio drama, Zenith Productions is bringing out Beast Hunters pretty soon. We'll have the Dragonheart for a Super Mega Force story. Unworthy is still like the behemoth of the fandom. They have some amazing stuff, and at some point we got to cover them as well and give them some love. Yes, we do,
because I really want to cover them because dude, their videos are just out of this world.
Yeah, I was told recently that the Psycho Menace is probably the best fan production ever done, and I want to watch it more now because of that.
Definitely, yeah.
So, and there's other things like the Bloodline thing by Christopher Kamen Lee and some other people. I watched some of that. That looks pretty good too. So, there's a lot of really good stuff out there that can be just truly amazing. And again, small budget. Look at the budget we pulled up earlier: $1,100 for a full 40-minute film, or maybe it was 48 minutes, whatever. And that looked really good, and that had such a deep story, and it really pulled at the heartstrings, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned for when that review drops on Pink Blossom, because that was a really good story.
Yeah.
And for those of y'all going to Ranger Stop Orlando, they will be, I think, doing a screening of Dragonheart, like an early screening of it. So, if you're at Ranger Stop Orlando, definitely go stop by and watch that. It's really, truly amazing what they've done. Oh yeah, we're going to see it because we'll be there, but to those of y'all going to Orlando, definitely check it out. But with that said, we are the Toku Secrets Podcast, hosted by animesecrets.org, and we will see y'all soon for our next podcast covering Godzilla and or Matsuranger. We also got the Pink Blossom coming out soon. Got a lot of good stuff coming out in the pipeline, so check it all out, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.
If you enjoyed listening to the Toku Secrets Podcast, please check us out at animesecrets.org and follow us on all our social media pages such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And also feel free to check out our other podcasts, including Anime Declassified and the Jedi Squadron. You can also leave us any feedback you'd like to offer us directly on our website. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, we thank you so much, and please leave us a rating out of 5 stars. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed, and leave any comments down below, as we love to take the time to read comments left on our channel and give our fans, shout-outs. If you have any seasons of Super Sentai, Power Rangers, or other tokusatsu shows that you'd like for us to check out, please don't hesitate to say so in your feedback. With all that said, we thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our podcast, and we will see you next time as we continue our never-ending journey through the world of tokusatsu. But until that time, you all stay safe, we love you, and may the power protect you.